We are going to get started in just a moment. Alright, we are now live. Let's go ahead and get started. Hello, welcome everyone to the stream. Welcome, Lags. There's a little bit of fireworks outside. We'll see if that clears up. There's always fireworks here in Orlando, though. Alright, let's go. So, I already have my alcohol with me because if you can see what I'm looking at, I'm gonna suffer tonight. Last night, during the stream about, Seba Gunner stuff, we were listening to a lot of, like, Thomas remixes, like Thomas the Tank Engine, and, as a result, one of y'all, I forgot who, suggested told me about a fanfiction, and, it sounded so stupid that I wanted to read it and subject myself to a little bit of suffering. So, I thought it was a good idea. If it sucks, like, if it's not entertaining, we'll skip it and go read some other stuff. But looking at this premise, I wonder if this is going to be interesting or not. So, yeah. In the background, I have a playlist here of music that is, like, recreated in the Thomas the Tank Engine style. I don't know if it actually will sound like it too much, but, you know, we'll see. Let me pull chat up. But yes, alright, looks like we're about ready to get going here. How are y'all doing tonight before I start? I just need an excuse to prepare myself mentally for this mess. Shoot. Let me open up my Four Loko. If I ever feel awkward, I'm gonna take a drink. I'm not actually doing a full drinking game, but if I ever feel awkward or feel the need to, I'm gonna announce that I'm taking a drink, because this story's probably gonna make me. I gotta warm the palate first. Let's get started. Oh, good. Good to hear, Legs. Yeah, earlier you said it's gonna be an experience, yes. Certainly. We'll see if any, other people join in later on, but let's get started here. Tell me if the music's too loud or too quiet. I can always adjust it. So, in the meantime, here we go. This is a fanfiction called Thomas and Equestria Girls. Welcome to Canterlot. This is gonna be something. So the premise of this is that the island of Sodor is in danger once again when the magic from the railway disappears. It's up to Thomas and friends to locate where it's gone and restore peace to the magic railroad before chaos and confusion consumes the land. You know, I don't know if I ever saw that movie, the Thomas movie. What was it called? Thomas and the Magic Railroad or whatever. I heard it was a weird movie, but anyways, let's get started. I I can't delay it any longer. I'm gonna cause confusion and delay, and the Fat Controller's gonna be pissed. So here. Oh wait, this is a Kirby song in the background. I've never listened to any of these music in the background before this stream, so we'll have to see what all it gets up to. Alright. Author's note. Here I go. This is the first chapter of a crossover I would have slapped my future self for not doing. Blah blah blah. It's a Thomas the Tank Engine and MLP crossover. Not just any, but you, oh, it's the spin-off. Oh, it's the spin-off. I think this is taking place in that, like, didn't they have, like, a sister show where it was, like, they were humans instead of horses or something? I think that's what that Equestria Girls thing is. So that's, okay. So, they took the entire premise of it being ponies and then made them not ponies. Alright, cool. Well, how are we gonna have trains going into this then? I guess we'll see. I did what it's important to blah blah blah. He wants us to see which franchise he's familiar with. Which of them he's more familiar with. We'll see. Okay. I think I'm about ready to get started here. Let me just pick one thing up on my phone. Gotta finish sending a quick text. There we go. I was hoping I would get it done before, but anyways. Oh, this is Megalovania in the background. I don't know, it doesn't sound entirely Thomasy. I guess it's just a sound font swap. Swamp? What are you doing in my swamp? Oh, Lord. Anyways, let's get started. Chapter 1, A New Source of Magic. Equestria, a place filled with mysterious and wondrous magic. It is a kingdom inhabited by magical ponies and other talking creatures such as griffins, dragons, and many other animals and strange beings. Equestria is co-ruled by Princess Celestia and Princess Luna, who reside in a palace at the capital city of Canterlot. All ponies play a part in spreading harmony throughout the land, possessing unique and special talents that set them apart from one another, but at the same time are connected through the magic of friendship. While Equestria is a very peaceful kingdom, there are magical creatures who use their abilities to instill chaos and disharmony. Wait a minute, I thought that this was about the, when they're not horses. Are they horses in this story, or are they not horses? Come on, give me an answer. Okay. These attempts were prevented by Twilight Sparkle, an alicorn princess of friendship, studying under Celestia's wing, and her pony friends, the main six. That is a good pun, I'll say that much. Usually with the power embedded in the elements of harmony. Gotta clear my throat. I'm at the very tail end of a cold. I only started streaming now because I would have wanted to stream earlier because it was way worse, and I only now feel like I can at least do a little bit of streaming in the meantime, so we'll see how far the stream goes. Alright. Oh, what song is this? Spooky Scary Skeletons. Okay, fine, fair enough. I guess this is Halloween themed now. Okay. Lord. Come on, where's the trains? Give us the trains. One time, Twilight visited a place mirroring a world very much like her home, only in a different light. Instead of being ponies, there were humans. Oh, there it is. Living in an ordinary-looking land similar to our own, Twilight was sent to the strange world to retrieve an artifact possessing an element of harmony, a crown known as the Element of Magic, which was stolen by Celestia's former pupil, Sunset Shimmer. While there, Twilight met and befriended counterparts of her pony friends. With their help, she was able to find and retrieve the crown. Sunset wanted to use the tiara's power to gain control of the human world and invade the kingdom of Equestria itself. This was prevented when Twilight and her friends tapped into the elements of magic and defeated Sunset by showing her there's more to magic than just power. That friendship is the most powerful magic of all, oh lord, and is the only element that can unite everyone in harmony. While the crown was returned safely to Equestria, the magic left behind opened a new world of possibilities. A lot's happened since then. Enemies became friends, magical abilities began manifesting within the main six, and more secrets about their Equestria-like world are being uncovered. For Twilight's friends in the human world, things will continue to get even stranger as they continue learning about the magic and how it works. In a garage, off to the side of a large purple house in a suburban neighborhood, the inner workings of a laboratory are taking place. Lights flickering, machines in the background humming, the little inventor of the lab works tirelessly on their project. A small purple dog with green fluffy ears approaches them curiously, wondering what they're working on. With sparks flying, tools switched around, and parts coming off and added on, the inventor was just about done with their project. Here, let me turn the sound down a little bit more. It's a little loud with that one. Alright, there we go. Much better. Let me refresh chat too, make sure everything's working properly before we continue. We gotta get through the start of it first. Let's get through the start of this story so we can get into the weird shit. Because I was told there was weird shit and like shipping in this, so I want to see how dumb it could get. So we'll see. Okay. The person working on the special project was a bright young girl named Twilight Sparkle. Even though the two may look similar, this Twilight Sparkle isn't the same as the Pony Princess that once visited the human world. Twilight's human counterpart once attended a school called Crystal Prep Academy, a school for highly educated students. Okay, a school for people that already have a lot of schooling. Got it. Oh wait, that's just college. What? I can't criticize that. Okay. I only graduated in May myself. Let's see. Whenever there wasn't anything to learn, she mostly spent her days working on projects in hopes of upgrading to a study program to continue furthering her knowledge. However, Twilight was forced by her principal to compete in an event called the Friendship Games, a tournament of skill and knowledge against rival schools. In return for participating, she would be guaranteed a spot in the Everton Independent Study Program. It was through the Friendship Games that Twilight Sparkle met her would-be friends, Sunset Shimmer, and Main 5 of Equestria's human counterpart dimension. Although they didn't become friends at first, Twilight created a magic tracking device that can contain aberrations upon catching it in use, and accidentally drained all the magical essence residing within the girls. What? Okay. It got to a point where the locket couldn't contain anymore. Once it was released, the magic turned Twilight into a monster bent on crazed with destruction. What the? Is this part of that show? Is this all stuff that's part of that show? That's weird. Again, it's safe to say I've never watched this show, and I probably won't, but, like, that's an interesting plot, as much as I could give it. With the help of Sunset Shimmer and the others, they returned Twilight back to normal and prevented the annihilation of both Canterlot High and Equestria. Despite her actions and misguided meddling, the girls still accepted her as one of them and forgave their new friend with open arms. Twilight decided she wanted to learn all about the magic of friendship, so she transferred over to Canterlot High, where she now attends alongside Sunset Shimmer and the Main 5. After hours of working, Twilight Sparkle raises the little device in her hand. "I've done it." "Done what?" Spike asked. Twilight spun on her chair excitedly and faced him. "Remember that spectrometer I made a couple of months ago? You mean the one that sucked up all our friends' magic powers and nearly destroyed our world in that pony place in the process?" Was that alliteration? Anyways, Twilight glared at Spike for bringing up the incident, and an incident she herself was trying to get over. Black said, "I only slightly remember any of these things from the show." I didn't know you watched the show. Interesting. I just, where's the Thomas stuff? Come on, I don't know anything about this. I only know a little bit about Thomas. Let's see. Where were we? Oh, I forgot my face is kind of big. I'm gonna shrink my face down, so you can see more of the screen. Actually, since it's all on the left side, I could just move myself to this side. Oh wait, no, that's moving the wrong box. Whatever, if it becomes a problem, I'll move it again. Actually, let's see, where is it? Webcam. There it is. Yeah. I'm not looking directly at it, but oh well. Now you can see the whole screen. Cool. Okay. No, I'm not. The next song was Kyle's Mom's a Bitch, but in the style of Thomas the Tank Engine. Oh god, no. Okay, this music's a little distracting. Let's go back to my regular playlist. I need to vet my playlist before I actually use them. Okay, let's see. Yeah, she said, turning back to her table. Well, after a lot of revisions on the overview for the configurations and mechanisms, I came up with a better, more efficient tracking method that can detect any readings that aren't just unique to equestrian magic. Neato, Spike said. Okay, Spike said, then raised a brow. Why would you make another one? Ever since we got those geo crystals from Camp Everfree, a lot of strange magical occurrences have been popping up lately. If we're dealing with something that's possibly not from the pony world, then this device could track the source of its origin. Maybe it'll even lead to where those geodes really came from. Spike examined the device. It was a round locket-shaped design similar to the previous one. The main operating buttons were centered in the middle, where it controls the whole device. The locket was purple, with pink ridges that would give off a light pink whenever the magic was detected, pointing in a 360-degree direction to wherever the source is originating. If you say so, Spike said, reluctantly. I just hope it doesn't steal any more magic and tear another rift in the fabric of space. This just reminds me, like, this entire setup reminds me of, like, the garage from Rick and Morty. I've never actually watched much of Rick and Morty at all, but, like, I've seen a lot of the comedy clips that take place in the garage with the tinkering and stuff, and, like, the Morty, I'm bored, I'm gonna kill you, or whatever it was. So this whole scene just reminds me of, like, that scene or whatever, just taking place in that garage or whatever. Anyways, I know that's a really weird thing to relate it to, but whatever. Let's see. Where was I? Don't worry, I went over the ramifications. Is that the right word there? Ramifications? I think it is the right word. Anyways, and made sure it can't contain magic this time. It only functions to scan for unusual elements. Why did you design it to suck it up in the first place? I thought I could understand it better by collecting a hands-on analysis. I would have guaranteed a spot in Everton if I could provide concrete information for the source of Canterlot-High's strange anomalies. Twilight paused and exhaled a dejected sigh. Clearly, I wasn't ready to handle that kind of approach. And after last time I tried studying magic, I'm not sure if I am. Twilight eyed the purple geode crystal held in her hand, concealed in a mini locket with a chain attached to it around her neck. But now that I have this geode, I can still use magic to study its effects and have a hands-on approach that doesn't involve keeping so much of it in one little device. Spike jumped into Twilight's lap and laid himself down while she pets him. Oh yeah, didn't they say he was a dog or something? No? Okay. Wasn't he a dragon before? Anyways, no harm done. Now that's the Twilight Sparkle I know and love. Oh, Spike, Twilight said, hugging him. The best canine companion a friend can ask for. Time had passed as Twilight sat in her lab petting Spike while examining her geode crystal. Her geode was contained in a tiny locket with a chain to wrap around her neck. It was purple with crystal facades and a star on front. Sitting and theorizing about the geode origins for a good while, Twilight's phone began vibrating. She picks it up and stares at the time. Oh no, we're late. We're supposed to meet the others at the sweet shop 5 minutes ago. Spike jumped off her and let Twilight get her things organized. She headed back inside her house and ran up to her room while removing her lab coat, gloves, and goggles. I'm gonna take another drink since there's nothing cringy yet, but I need to... If I don't pick up the pace, I'm not gonna be able to get very far. I want to get to the good stuff. Let's try to speed read through some of this. So she's grabbing her stuff and runs down to the shop. They're going to the shop. 10 minutes behind. She was late. Blah, blah, blah. She's meeting her friends. Okay. Everyone else waved happily too. Oh yeah, no, Twilight's on, should say, called over here. Everyone else waved happily too. Twilight smiled. At first she was worried about disappointing her friends, but knowing them, they didn't mind if she was a bit late. They might be wondering what took her so long, but understandable that then, okay, blah blah blah. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Okay. Sunset Shimmer leaned against a pillar while the rest sat in chairs gathered around the couch and coffee table. Spike sits on Fluttershy's lap, who then starts petting him. Sorry, gonna clear my throat a little bit since I still have a bit of my congestion from my cold still running through my veins. Anyways, let's keep going. Darling, you're all out of breath, Rarity pointed out. I had to, I guess the comma makes sense if she's, like, catching her breath between the comma. I was gonna criticize that, but that's fine. I had to run, Twilight panted. Was late for the meetup. Yep, nope, that's what the author meant. The punctuation's fine. No seat, Twilight? Said Rainbow Dash. You managed to get here still, and that's what matters. No seat? Maybe that's a misspelling. So, what did take you so long? Sunset asked. Oh, were you ambushed by a pack of gummy bear creatures that wanted to take away your home and take you away to their home in the forest? Pinkie Pie asked. Pinkie Pie, there are no such thing as gummy bear creatures. Is that just a reference, or is that just lol random humor or anything? I don't know. Or no such thing as gummy bear creatures, Applejack chuckled. There was such a thing as Gaia Everfree. Anything's possible, Pinkie said in a sing-song tone. Why was every word capitalized? Rainbow Dash scoffed. Yeah, which just turned out to be Gloriosa, I don't know who that is, jacked up on those geode crystals. So, what if Equestria gummy bears that were secretly banished to our dimension are now hiding in the woods, waiting to fighting their attacks as we speak? Pinkie Pie said eerily. There isn't, and there aren't, Sunset smiled casually. Anyways, that's not the reason I was late. Twilight pulled out the locket from her bag. This is. She held and showed off the magic tracker to the others. The girls gasped and shifted away. You made another magic-sucking device? Rarity cried. Some of the girls backed away from Twilight and her device. Pinkie Pie hid behind her chair, and Fluttershy used her long pink hair to shield her face. No, it's okay. I designed it not to contain magic anymore, Twilight explained. After sharing collective and skeptic glances to one another, girls returned to their seats and moved closer back to Twilight. So, what's it designed to do this time? Sunset asked. Just tracking EM frequencies, Twilight answered. With this, I'm not only able to trace the source of equestrian magic, but all sorts of anomalies. Why would you need it to track different magic sources? Fluttershy chimes in. Well, we don't know for sure if geodes or whatever it was back at camp is the same ones that are from the Pony World. Maybe they're from another place. Exactly, Twilight said. And in order to collect as much data as possible, I did some tweaking to the old prototype so it can measure other frequencies that may have surfaced in our world. Sounds an awful lot of work to do just to, Sounds like an awful lot of work to tweak a little device to research a possible non-existing inquiry, Rarity said. Equestrian magic is already enough to deal with now. Now you're saying there may be other kinds too? Where in hay would another magic source even be coming from besides Equestria? Maybe they mean where in hell. Applejack asked. Pinkie Pie interrupts. Maybe it can track where the gummy bears are hiding. Well, again, why is every word capitalized here? And for the Pinkie Pie or whatever? Why? Why is every word capitalized? What's with you and the gummy bears all of a sudden? Probably just cravings, Pinkie grinned. All I can say is, Sunset said, placing a hand on Twilight's shoulder. Whatever gets us closer to finding out where these geodes came from, I'll trust any device Twilight's made to show us the way. We might even be able to locate where a magic source is coming from a lot sooner so we can stop it the next time you run into someone or something that causes trouble. Rarity chimes in. Well, if you ask me, darlings, I for one would still like to break away from all this magic nonsense. 4 months in a row with nothing but dealing with power-crazed maniacs is starting to do a number on my wardrobe. No offense, dear. And untaken, Twilight slouched. Told you get used to it, Sunset said, nudging Twilight playfully. Applejack joined in. You know what? I wouldn't mind it myself if we had a day to spend, like we did before magic came into our lives. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot about it to enjoy, but I just like having just 1 week of us kicking it back like the good old days, where we didn't have to deal with someone trying to take over the world and whatnot. Since we're being honest, I don't really like fighting all that much, Fluttershy said, scratching Spike's belly. I only do it because I want to protect my friends and make sure they're safe. Oh, come on, Rainbow Dash said. We have those super awesome powers now. Why shouldn't we be dealing with magic more? Fighting against the forces of evil was a breeze compared to when we first started out, and I finally feel like getting a hang of my speed. Rainbow Dash began punching the air. The next time someone tries to take us on, they'll have to go through me first. As much as I do like slowing down every once in a while, but who am I kidding? Kicking butt is too much fun. Not as fun as throwing parties or eating candy, of course, but it's still pretty exciting, Pinkie Pie said, widely grinning. Again, there it is again. It's only that character. Every single letter that is, or every single noun or anything that isn't a transition word is capitalized. I don't get it. Let's see. Twilight and Sunset looked at each other. Sunset added into the discussion. Magic is a part of our lives. Can I just skip the rest of this? Okay, no, we're finally getting to something. Wait, I think my tracker has something. Everyone leaned in to see where the device was pointing. The device emulated a small beeping noise, with one of its pink ridges blinking to indicate the direction. Oh, that's weird, Twilight said. This isn't... The light's not supposed to turn gold. There we go. Finally, we're getting to something. Where's it pointing? Fluttershy asked. Let me see if I can fix it. Are you sure you didn't color coordinate it? Sunset asked. I'm pretty sure. She pressed the button on the device, but it still emulated a golden light. As Twilight looked over at the device, the girls quickly got up and looked around the store to see what it could be pointing at. Each time the source got closer, the beeping grew slightly louder, but it still wasn't clear what was causing it to set off. Where do you think it's coming from? Blah blah blah. Anxious Sunset finally grabbed and pointed the tracker locket towards wherever it was beeping. Some people were leaving the store and Sunset pointed her device around. The bell on the doorway scaffolding dinged, and as it dinged, the beeping suddenly stopped. The girls looked all over the device, which now read nothing. The gold light that was previously blinking became dimmer and blown out like a light bulb. No more beeping, no more blinking. Everyone gathered around and the silent device. Is everyone else just as concerned about this? I think I'm starting to, Applejack said, clutching her light brown Stetson hat. Twilight looked around on the device to see what caused the light to change color, but couldn't get anything out of it. I don't understand, she said. It's supposed to flash pink light when an EM frequency is detected. That is super duper creepy, Pinky said. This can't be any ordinary frequency if it's able to mess up your device like that. So is there really other magic in a Canterlot? Which means another magic-hungry evildoer is likely after it, Rarity said. An evildoer whose butt is waiting to be kicked, Rainbow Dash said. If what we just discussed was any indication, we absolutely need to look into this, which leaves us with one big question. Twilight finished Sunset's thought, with all eyes on the locket. Where did this magic come from? Okay, that's finally the first chapter. So, I just hope it picks up faster, because I want to get to the weird stuff. And right now, it's just okay. Like, there's nothing I can make fun of right now. It's a story, it's just, well, I mean, besides it being MLP. Like, there's nothing else besides it being an MLP's Thomas story that I can make fun of. So I need to keep reading. Alright, let me just take another drink. There's more fireworks outside. I accidentally kicked some used fireworks on my way to work a few days ago. There are a bunch going out on outside during the New Year's celebrations, so... I mostly just had a relaxing night. I didn't really have any plans for New Year's. I mostly left that for yesterday's stream. Anyway. Here we go. Now something I'll finally know a little bit about. A new summer begins. Chapter 2. The island of Sodor is a wonderfully magical place, surrounded by a beautiful blue sea. It has fields of green and sandy yellow beaches. There are rivers, streams, and lots of trees where the birds sing. There are windmills and a coal mine, the docks where visitors to the island arrive. The island is the home of the Northwestern Railway, with engines of all shapes and sizes, working hard to deliver goods and passengers to their destinations. There are branch lines that run along the coast of the island, serving the docks, the fishing villages, and the seaside towns. There are branch lines that run to the farms, quarries, and ancient castles of the island's heartland. And there is the main line, which runs all the way from Knapford on the west coast of the island to Vickerstown in the east. All of this is run by the Fat Controller himself, Sir Topham Hatt, who sees to it that his engines are working their hardest to keep the railway running safely and on time. There are many different sorts of engines on Sir Topham Hatt's railway. Some of them are faster, some of them are slower, some are stronger, and some not so much. But to Sir Topham Hatt, they all play a vital role in running the Northwestern Railway. It matters not to the Fat Controller what type of engine he has. To him, every single one of them are very useful in their own right. All of his engines work hard toward making his railway the best and most reliable locomotive system around. One of those engines is Sir Topham Hatt's #1 engine, Thomas the Tank Engine. Thomas is a bright blue tank engine who runs his own branch line, pulling passengers with his two coaches, Annie and Clarabelle. One day, Thomas was pulling Annie and Clarabelle through his branch line. Visitors from far away came across to spend their vacations traveling around the island, exploring its beautiful scenery, and partaking in its many attractions, including the local theme parks and carnivals that are open and running all summer. This kept Thomas very busy, as he spends all day going backwards and forward between his branch line, delivering passengers to different stations and in different towns. Thomas loves his job, even if it can be a bit tiresome at times. Despite how busy he always is, though, Thomas loves doing the work, and he knows that pulling passengers is what makes him a really useful engine. So, he persistently continues doing his job until it is done, no matter what. That evening, Sir Topham Hatt came to visit his engines, getting ready to rest in Tidmouth's sheds. Thomas didn't know why Sir Topham Hatt was visiting Tidmouth. That confused the other engines as well, who were all parking in their respective berths to call it a day. "Good evening, everyone," he greeted cheerfully. "Good evening, sir. What brings you to Tidmouth's sheds?" Thomas asked. "I'm glad you asked, Thomas. I have some very exciting news for all of you. Now, I understand you all have been working rather tirelessly this whole summer, with the vacationers around us and whatnot." In the distance, a flash of lights and a clicking sound goes off as two vacationers, a father and his son, were both taking photos of the engines resting in their shed. "Hi, James," cried the little boy, waving his hand at the red engine. James smirked. "Did you hear that, everyone? They came all the way here just to see me. Not that I'm surprised or anything." Thomas rolls his eyes. The boy then called out to the rest of the engines. "Hi, Edward. Hi, Percy. Hi, Gordon. Hi, Henry. Hi, Emily." With each hello, the engines blew their whistles in response and said hello back to the boy. "Come on now, son," said the father. "Let's not bother the engines any more than we have." Before they leave, the little boy turns around and cries out one more engine. Hi, Thomas. Thomas blew his whistle and chuckled. Hello, enjoy the rest of your visit. Now, where was I? Continued Sir Topham Hatt after waving back at the visitors. Ah, yes, I understand this time of year can be a bit exhausting to some of you. This has been the first time in forever that Sodor has had so many visitors since its peak back when the railway first opened. Work has taken its toll on some of you, true, but as a fully operational railway system, it's expected that you all be working our finest. That being said, I've decided to switch things up a bit. What do you mean, sir? Emily asked. I mean, I've just come up with a new special event to make our summer more exciting for you all. I'm going to be handing out different jobs to other engines. What? Uttered Gordon. For those of you who don't know, Gordon likes pulling the express a lot. That's why he doesn't like change. Sir Topham Hatt chuckled. Don't worry, Gordon, you'll still be pulling the express. Gordon sighed in relief. However, the other engines will need help pulling the express as well. So many visitors mean more coaches are in demand, and more passenger coaches means more engines and need to pull them. Does that mean, Henry started. It means, he finished, we need more big engines to carry passenger coaches again. The engines beamed with excitement, all except Gordon, as they listened to Sir Topham Hatt carry on with his proposition. The idea made them all happy. The engines were going to be getting different jobs to do. Each day, for the rest of the summer, I'll be switching around jobs for the other engines, giving them a break from their regular work routine to start something refreshing, new and exciting. But what if we don't know how to do a different job, sir? Asked Percy. That is why I'll be having engines like Gordon keeping theirs, he faced Gordon. You'll be showing engines here how to pull the express when it's their time to help out. If you ask me, sir, that sounds like a waste of my time and talent, Gordon said. Oh, nonsense. Think about it. You'll be teaching other engines how to be fast and strong just like you are, contributing skills that would be useful, should they ever need them. Huh, Gordon boasted. I'm all the fast and strong this railway needs to pull the express. No engine can do the job better than I, and I highly doubt they'll catch on as quickly. So asking me to teach these little engines how to be as strong and as useful sounds like a waste of time. I think it's a wonderful idea, Emily said. I've rarely ever had a chance to pull the express. Maybe this time I finally get to. That's the spirit, Emily, Sir Topham Hatt said, rocking his arm. Does that mean I can take a break from pulling passengers all day, sir? Thomas asked. It does indeed, Thomas. Now, I know I've already given you jobs to do this summer, and working outside your comfort zone will be a new challenge for you. What do you mean that's a new challenge? He's been doing that his entire... Okay, whatever. Let's see. But this will be a great benefit to every engine to try new things, enjoy the summer, and have rest once in a while. Most importantly, though, this doesn't change the fact that each engine, whatever they end up doing, is still expected to get the job done right on time. I do want to say here, like, as someone who's done coordination for things before, switching things up in the middle of the busiest season is never the right call. I got trained in my newest job just now during the peak Christmas season, where we have a lot of check-ins and check-outs, and I mean, it's been crazy. But then again, I mean, the positive flip side of that is that I got to, like, you know, if I can handle it when at the busiest, I can handle it any other time. So again, it's a questionable choice, but who knows? Maybe it'll bear fruit. All right, where were we? Oh yes. The other engines were starting to love Sir Topham Hatt's idea even more. Though they do get different jobs on a semi-regular basis, after almost a whole summer of doing the same thing over and over, a nice change of pace, scenery, variety, and the thought of actually taking more breaks was what the engines needed to truly make this summer worth working for. Sir Topham Hatt was feeling just as excited. Let's see. Oh, no, that's not the playlist. What? Come on. Why did it stop playing the playlist? Here, give me a sec. There we go. Now, if it will actually work this time. Okay, we're good. Let's keep going. Let's see. Sir Topham Hatt was feeling just as excited. I don't know why this summer has me in such a generous mood, but after thinking it over, I just knew I had to reward my engines for doing such a splendid job running my railway. Now, who's ready for a new summer start? Sir Topham Hatt called out. The engines all over blew their whistles in excitement. I'll take that as a definite yes, Sir Topham Hatt beamed. Starting tomorrow, I'll be handing out your new jobs first thing in the morning. Sir Topham Hatt then walks back to his car to go home while waving back at the engines. Have a good rest, everyone. Good night, sir, the engines replied. The engines were all discussing what their new jobs could possibly be tomorrow, throwing out guesses and assumptions, all eager to know what they might get. I can't believe we'll be getting completely different jobs, Thomas said to Percy. Me neither, Percy cried. Percy said. Though I am a bit scared I won't be good enough with whatever I get, the thought of it is still exciting. Edward chimed in. By tomorrow, any one of us may be lucky enough to get something we've always wanted to do, even pull the express. I just know Sir Topham Hatt will have me form... One moment. Hate having to clear my throat this much. Again, coming off the cold. I just know Sir Topham Hatt will have me pull more coaches than trucks, James said. Once he sees how really good I am, then that's all the work he'll have me do. The point of switching jobs is not doing the same one every day, James, Emily said. Oh, I do enjoy pulling the express, Henry said. I had such a fun time before. Now I might even get to pull them again. Gordon interrupted. Don't hold your breath. Like Sir said, you're getting random jobs each day, not permanent ones. Easy for you to say, James fired. You're getting to keep your job. That's because Sir Topham Hatt knows I'm the only engine on this island that can pull the express perfectly. Why he needs other engines to pull more passengers is insulting to my capabilities. What are cat abilities? Percy asked Thomas. Oh, wasn't that a thing he did later in the show where Percy just didn't know what actual words were? Oh, Lord. Thomas said, capability, silly. It means you're really good at what you do, I think. Thomas responded. Oh. While the other engines boasted amongst each other, Thomas and Percy continued their own discussions about what they might get tomorrow. Thomas and Percy have always been the best of friends on Sodor. They do everything together. Working, shunting, even playing cheeky tricks on other engines and laughing about silly things. Though they didn't always get along, like the time when Thomas accused Percy of accidentally dumping coal on top of him, delaying his train and ruining his bright blue paint. The time Percy tricked Thomas into thinking his ghost story was real, and then when Thomas made fun of him for being a holy bear? What does he mean? Holy bear? What? Okay, whatever. Because of it. But in the end, they've always found ways to get along and get back to being friends once again. Thomas is one of the few engines on Sodor that Percy feels happy to talk to with what he likes, what he's afraid of, what he's excited for, and so on. Percy was happy even now talking to Thomas because he knows he can trust his friend. Thomas can trust Percy to tell each other anything. What job do you think you'll get tomorrow, Thomas? Percy asked. I don't know, Percy. It could be anything. I could pull the mail train again, a special delivery, or the flying kipper. You really pull the flying kipper? Thomas struggled. Oh, maybe not that. But like Sir Topham Hatt said, any job can be given out to any of us. I'm just trying to keep my mind open to the possibilities. I noticed you didn't even mention any freight trains on your list of possibilities, Percy remarked cheekily. No one wants to end up pulling boring old trucks, especially considering how much trouble they are. Edward wouldn't have a problem. He's been on this island more than any of us. He's probably pulled all sorts of trains. It doesn't matter what he's doing as long as he's really useful doing it. The two engines look over at Edward and talking to Henry and the others. Besides, Thomas continues, I can't be the only one thinking we're getting a special job tomorrow. You're right, now I'm starting to wonder the same. Percy gasped excitedly and grinned. Maybe I'll be pulling the Duke and Duchess to and from the mainland. Thomas and Percy looked at each other for a good second before sharing a good laugh. Oh, Percy, Thomas chuckled. You know that's not a job Sir Topham Hatt can give you. Percy chuckled as well. I know, Thomas, but it's still fun to think about. Yeah, I guess it is, Thomas smiled. I mean, just imagine going across to the mainland. A place somewhere different, somewhere far, somewhere where no one will know your name, and a chance to make new friends. Maybe if I can have one special job, and one that'll give me just that, I absolutely would take it. Percy sighed, happily. Me too. Both him and Thomas watched the sun setting in the distance, ending on a perfect night to a hard day's work. They thought about being on the mainland some more and what possibilities lie there. Although, Percy started, we did do something similar during the Great Railway Show. We even got a chance to see most of the mainland on the way. Sorry. I wish I could see all of it in one day, maybe even somewhere better. Then Thomas thought of an idea. In fact, I know where I might go if Sir Topham Hatt lets me have a break day. Percy said confused. What do you mean? Oh, never mind, Percy. I'll tell you in the morning. Oh, but I want to know now. "No what?" Emily asked. The two friends looked over to Emily, looking back at them curiously. Thomas chuckled awkwardly. Percy just wanted to know what jobs we might be getting tomorrow." "Oh," she paused, then whispered, "I still think I might pull the express." "Not a chance," Gordon boomed. The other three engines chuckled to each other. They all had their own expectations and were having fun hearing about it. They could very well end up doing what they wanted, or something else too. Either way, everyone was having fun. "Well, we won't know until tomorrow," Thomas stated. "That's right," Emily yawned. "I think it's time to we start getting some shut-eye. We should be well rested for tomorrow." "Good idea," Edward I need to slow down a little bit. "Good idea," Edward overhears. "I'm going to sleep now, too. Good night, everyone." All the engines said their good nights as they drifted off to sleep. "Good night, Thomas," said Percy. "Good night, Percy," said Thomas. He gave one last long look at the moon before the weight of his eyes shutting gave way and he began to slip into a comforting sleep, knowing full well the details of the plans he hopes to set in motion during their new summer shift. "I hope Sir Topham Hatt gives me a break day soon, because I'm going to visit the Magic Railroad." Because I think the Magic Railroad was from that movie, which I don't, if I did see it, I don't remember it, which is the interesting thing. So, here, let me go through chapter 3. I'm gonna take off my robe. If it gets too cold, I'll wear the robe, but it kind of warmed up a little bit, so we've had a cold snap here recently, but it's fading away. That's better. I haven't found much to make fun of this for yet. I hope something weird will happen, but, like, honestly, I know I keep saying this every time I do one of these streams, but, like, this is just, like, I can't really make fun of it. It's written fine, honestly, so, I just don't know. We'll do one more chapter. And if there isn't anything interesting, I don't know, I may try and find something else that's bad. We'll see. Because, like, I want to find bad stuff, but we'll see. Chapter 3, Trusts and Promises. It was early in the morning on the island of Sodor. The engines at Tidmouth Shed were already well awake to start the new day. Yesterday, after Sir Topham Hatt proposed his idea to the engines that they'd be getting different jobs to do every day, they were more than excited to quickly start the day and prepare themselves for what they might get today. The engines were waiting in their sheds for Sir Topham Hatt to arrive and give them their new job. James, on the other hand, was the most impatient out of all. "Ooh, when's he gonna be here?" James asked impatiently. "I can't wait any longer." "Soon enough, James," Edward said. "He's probably still handing out jobs to other engines." "Well, he better hurry up if we're gonna make it to our jobs on time." "You seem eager to be pulling a goods train today, James," Henry teased. James tried to take no notice of Henry's comment. "Huh, not likely. I guarantee you'll have me pulling nothing but passengers the whole summer." If that's your thinking, Gordon said, "then you're just setting yourself up for disappointment." "No, I'm not. Just wait and see," James said confidently. "Soon I'll be pulling the express alongside you, Gordon." Gordon only shot him a piercing stare, an annoyed hum under his breath. Let's see. "So, then, what will you do tomorrow after he's had you pull coaches?" Emily asked. "You know, since we're all getting different jobs each day." "Probably a much-needed break. Then it's back to pulling passenger trains." The engines all groaned while James continued beaming proudly. Everyone knew he wasn't likely to get what he wanted, so they all played along with his boastings until Sir Topham Hatt finally arrived and walked over to the shed. "Good morning, everyone. Have a good sleep, did we?" "Yes, sir," they all responded. "Now, as you all know, today we start our new job, everyday experience. I did a lot of planning and deduced which engine would be working in what job, and who would be working with whom. I've assigned some of you to a task to complete for the rest of the day, come time tomorrow when you will be assigned a new job." Gordon cleared his throat. "Except me, though, right, sir?" Topham Hatt smiled and shook his head. "Yes, Gordon, excluding you." Gordon sighed in relief and smiled with assurance. Some of the engines looked at Gordon with disapproval. Gordon has never been an engine who pulls anything other than the express. He'd rather be pulling passenger trains than anything else, and causes unnecessary confusion and delay when given a job that requires him to pull a goods train or anything similar. Well, it's good experience for the other engines to try something new each day. Gordon would just be doing the same job he always does. This makes the engines a bit cross, because Gordon always gets what he wants. And if he's pulling the express more often now than ever, it leaves little room for the others to help pull the express, limiting the number of engines that Sir Topham Hatt will choose to pull it. Now, I know a lot of you probably have your expectations on what jobs you'll like the most, but this experiment is to prove you're all capable of working different jobs, should the occasion call for it. It also gives other engines a much-needed break from doing the same tasks every day, and a nice change in environment. That's what this is all about. And I'm not giving you your favorite job to do every day. The engines were listening, of course, but the anticipation was boiling up inside of them. That being said, each and every one of you has more than enough time to do every possible job. So, if you don't get one on your favorite today, perhaps the next day or the day after. That's what makes it fun, it's the variety. Please, sir, can we know what jobs are for today? Thomas asked, unable to wait any longer. What? Sir Topham Hatt caught off guard, but then chuckled. Oh, right, I suppose I am babbling on at this point. The engines were all avid. Right then, let's get the show on the road. The show on the rail. I filled it in. Yeah, okay, let's see. Gordon, you and Henry will be pulling the express with Hank and Neville. Okay, I don't know those two names. Again, I don't watch the show actively. So, yeah. And for anyone else joining in right now, after last night's stream, I was listening to Siva Gunner rips and mashups and things, and some of them were Thomas the Tank Engine themed, and someone in the chat last night suggested that, or at least told me about a fan fiction someone made, where it was like MLP and Thomas and something, and apparently it was dumb, but I don't know, I'm reading it right now, and it just sounds normal, like, it just, there's nothing I can make fun of yet. So, if I don't find something soon that's too interesting to make fun of with it, then I may put a pin in it and try finding something that's actually bad to read. But we'll see. I'm just gonna maybe finish this chapter. Alright, let's see. Okay. Henry was wide-eyed and gasped with excitement. He wanted to pull the express, but didn't think it would happen on the first day of their new assignments. Henry was now very excited, more than anyone, to start his day. I'm sure you'll be familiar with the basics, Henry, but just in case, Gordon will be helping you. And the others, too, if should you run into any problems. I am, thank you, sir. I won't let you down, Henry beamed. Excellent, Sir Topham Hatt said. Gordon wasn't much too excited about having more engines pull the express, but since he gets to keep his job, it wasn't much of a bother. Emily, I want you to continue pulling your coaches for today, Sir Topham Hatt continued. Yes, sir. Emily was a bit disappointed she wasn't pulling the express, but her own coaches was good enough. She knew there would still be plenty of time to do an exciting job, so she accepted her current task. Edward, you're to shunt some trucks around the yard. We're going to need them for a job tomorrow. Will do, sir, said Edward. He turned his attention to James and his beaming grin. James? Yes, sir, he asked. I want you, yes, to pull, yes. The tension was too much for James. Waste trucks. Waste trucks, James exclaimed. All the engines erupted into a laugh except James, who was too frozen with shock to say anything. This confused Sir Topham Hatt, who just stood tilting his hat a bit to scratch his head while the engine's laughter settled down. Was there something I missed? Don't worry, sir, said Thomas cheekily. James is just more than happy to pull some dirty old waste trucks all day. Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's cheeky Thomas. Let's see. James stood petrified. His eye twitched every so often. So confused, Sir Topham Hatt then turned to Thomas and Percy. Very well. Thomas and Percy, for the rest of the morning, you'll be helping Edward shut trucks in the yard. Afterwards, you two can have a break before I give you your job for the night. While it wasn't anything too special, Thomas and Percy were excited to get started on their work, especially since they'd be working together. Though now they were more curious as to what their night job would be. They were more than happy to be shunting trucks with Edward in the yard all morning before their break. But wait, Thomas asked, who's pulling Annie and Clarabelle on my branch line, sir? Not to worry, Thomas, I have Toby doing your job for today. They are both in very good care. Thomas sighed in relief. Toby the tram engine was a good friend to Thomas and the other engines. He knew he could leave his coaches Annie and Clarabelle with Toby and not worry about them. Being a tram engine, he may not be the fastest or strongest engine on Sodor, but if there was anyone other than Thomas that could trust to do his coaches, Toby was the engine he'd be happy to have pulling Annie and Clarabelle on his branch line. And let me take a drink real quick. Here we go. Alright then, you all have your jobs for the day. I expect everyone to do their best and be really useful. He then walked back to his car. I look forward to hearing about your day. Goodbye, sir, the engines whistled. Gordon puffed out of his berth and stared flatly at Henry, beaming with excitement. Try not to get in my way, he said. The express needs to be reliable and on time. That can't happen if I'm babysitting you three all day, so at least try to keep up. Don't worry, Gordon, said Henry cheerfully. I still remember how to pull the express. You won't have trouble from me. We'll see, Gordon said begrudgingly as he left the shed to go fetch his coaches. Henry followed soon after him. I better go find my coaches, Emily said, leaving the sheds next. Who knows how many visitors we might have this time. Thomas, Percy, and Edward glanced over at James, who hadn't moved from his berth yet. You, gonna collect those waste trucks, James? Edward asked. James said nothing. He was still in shock by the idea of having to pull waste trucks. The one job he didn't want at all. Okay. Thomas, Percy, let's go shunt these trucks. Edward got on the turntable and made his way to the shunting yard. Should we be concerned about James? Percy asked Thomas. No, I'm sure he'll snap out of it soon. Thomas and Percy looked over at James, still making the same petrified expression he'd had since Sir Topham had told him what his job was. The two looked at each other, wondering if they should try to say anything to him. Deciding not to bother James, however, they went on the turntable next to meet with Edward in the shunting yard. In the shunting yard, Thomas, Percy, and Edward spent all morning shunting trucks in different sidings, so that later in the day they'd be filled with goods ready to be delivered to another location somewhere else around the island. Thomas and Percy had fun shunting cars. It reminded them of the day when they first met and became friends. Thomas showed Percy the quickest way how to shunt trucks into their respective sidings, which helped Percy a lot given the fact he didn't feel like he's good at shunting trucks like Thomas is. He still appreciates it either way, and the two engines continued on working forward to their brakes. That should be enough for now, Edward said. You two can go along and have your time off. I can finish the last loads here. Are you sure? Thomas asked. Edward smiled. Yes, just remember Topham Hatt has another job for you later. Make sure you're both on time for it. We will, said the two engines in unison as they drove off. Percy still couldn't help but wonder what it was that Thomas had in mind after he said last night regarding the break day. It had been on Percy's mind to know. Say, Thomas, you never told me last night what you were thinking of during your break. Oh, right, I didn't want to hurt the others' feelings if they knew. Where are you going? Where we are going, Percy, Thomas corrected. We're going to the Magic Railroad. What? You want to go there? Yes, why? Percy didn't say anything and idly looks away. What's the matter, Percy? Thomas asked. Well, see, the thing is, I've never actually been to the Magic Railroad. The closest I've seen of it were the Magic Buffers. Okay, I don't know what that is. I haven't seen the movie. Also, let me refresh the streaming page, make sure everything is still working properly. I've watched it get messed up sometimes if I don't check on it. Alright, there we go. We're good. Then you're going to love it, Thomas said excitedly. While chuffing down the main line, Thomas went on about the Magic Railroad to Percy and how great it is. It was a land unlike anything they had on Sodor. The rails are pure gold, the sunlight bounces off the bright green grass, and the lakes are clean and clear as glass. And there are tall, snowy mountains in the far-off distance. Wow, that sounds amazing, Percy said, more excited now. Are the tracks really made of pure gold? They look like it from the glimpse I got when I traveled its line. There may not be many, but the ones that do run the line lead to so many different worlds. Really? They don't just go to Shining Time? Again, part of the movie and that other TV show, I think. Apparently, but just imagine where else they could go, Percy. The possibilities are endless. Hold on, Percy said. You're not thinking of going to a different world, are you? Thomas didn't think it was a big deal that he'd actually plan on visiting another world, though he didn't take it into account of how long it would take to get from one place and back again. Well, I figured if we had time, Percy interrupted. Oh, I don't think that's such a good idea, Thomas. Why not? Come on, Percy, think about it. We're going to a completely different place. Remember where we were talking about last night? I do, but it would take too long for us if we were exploring other worlds, Percy said, nervously. I was only thinking we'd just visit one place for a little bit. Maybe see if Lily and Bernard Stone are still at Muffle Mountain. But we have a job later tonight. What if we're late for it? Sir Topham Hatt will be very cross with us. If we don't have time to explore another world, then we'll head straight to Sir Topham Hatt when we're done with the Magic Railroad. Just the Magic Railroad? Just the Magic Railroad, said Thomas. Percy hesitated to answer, apart from his apprehension. Okay, blah blah blah. Yeah, they're racing each other there. Yep, they're going. They're going down Gordon's Hill and Henry's Forest, reaching to the buffers. Let's see. The buffers were located on an old railroad line near the Kirk Run and Branch line. Tall willow trees close to the tracks canopied the line with little glimpses of sunlight seeping through. Thomas and Percy rode side by side along two separate tracks, then stopped in front of a crossing that led to the buffers themselves. The magic buffers were covered in vines from never being used. Weeds and plants grew from under the tracks leading to it. The base where an engine's buffers meet was rusty and brown. Clearly, these buffers had not been used in quite some time. This is it, Percy. Are you ready? I hope so. Wanting to cheer himself up, Percy decided to ask Thomas a cheeky question. Are you ready to see Lady again? Thomas felt himself jump out of his pistons. His cheeks went bright red with the thought of seeing Lady again since the first time they met. Trying to hide his face from Percy, who was holding back a smirk, Thomas truffed towards the buffers. Well, if Thomas is in front of him, Percy shouldn't see his face. I don't think he has to hide it. But whatever. Also, I think Lady is like the magic engine from the Magic Railroad from the movie or whatever. She was almost destroyed by some crazy guy or something. Again, I haven't seen the movie. Let's see. I'll go in first. You go once I have. Okay. Truffing closer down the tracks, Thomas charged towards the buffers, bracing for impact. He ran into them, only to bounce off of them. Confused by this, Thomas tried hitting the buffers again, only to no avail. He was still on the island of Sodor. Thomas was not only confused, but he began to worry. What's going on? Thomas said. Is something supposed to happen? Percy asked. I should be in the Magic Railroad by now. Thomas continuously ran at the buffers, trying to activate the portal that would take them along the golden tracks of the railroad. Careful, Percy warned. I don't know why it's not working, Thomas said, frustrated. Let me try, Percy said, plucking up courage. Before Thomas could answer, a strange golden mist appears out of nowhere over the field next to Thomas. A collective clattering of wind chimes gives off as each twinkling speck shines and sparkles. Within this misty gold cloud emerged a man sporting a blue coat and a worn red tie, blue trousers, and a train conductor's hat that walks out of the golden dust. It was hard to tell at first, but Thomas and Percy knew who it was on further inspection. Both engines called his name in unison. Mr. Conductor? Oh, because that guy was from the movie too. Oh, shoot. Wasn't he played by Alec Baldwin? Wait, let me check. That would be kind of funny if he was. If I remember that right, with all the things that happened with Alec Baldwin recently. Let's see. Who plays Mr. Conductor on Magic Railroad? No, wait. Yeah, I thought, for the movie, I thought it was Alec Baldwin. Yes, it was. In the movie, it was Alec Baldwin. Okay. I hate to say it, but so far, I mean, I'm not, like, insulted by this story. Like, I kind of want to see where it goes, but, like, I mean, then again, you got the elephant in the room. But, yeah, I don't know. Again, I thought this was gonna be some, like, a really cringe story, but, like, it's a slow burn, I guess. Maybe it is cringe, but it's just, like, again, this is all set up. Everything I've read so far has been set up. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna put a pin in that. Let's see, fanfiction.net. Do I really want to keep doing this? I don't know. Part of me wants to, but... how long have I been streaming? Not even an hour. How do I want to do this? Well, let's click just in. I want to see what's up with this. I wonder if there's anything that looks out of the ordinary. What jumps out at me? A lot of anime stuff. Percy Jackson and Transformers? Okay. That's funny. Another Harry Potter and Sonic one? Oh god, it's 150,000 words. Oh, Lord. Again, nothing here is jumping out at me so far. Sherlock Holmes... Naruto? Okay. 300 words, wow. Let's see. Pokemon and Kung Fu Panda. What is Amphibia? I don't know what that is. What else? Pokemon and Five Nights at Freddy's. Wait a minute, I remember this one. Did we look at this on a different stream? Wait a minute. Yeah, this is just the one that was like the trailer for the FNAF movie, but with Pokemon. Like, nothing was different. It was literally the exact same. Published 3 hours ago. Well, wait, where's the other chapters? Is there not a way to get to the other chapters? Or is that it? Are there any other chapters? Because it said updated 3 hours ago, but I remember reading that. Wait. No, 1 chapter. What, was it just re-uploaded? Okay. Never mind. Fallout and Ruby? Okay. Star Wars and Pokemon. Oh, but it's a sequel. High School DxD Aliens Among Us Devils? What the fuck? Sailor Moon and Power Rangers? MLP and Kingdom Hearts. Oh lord, it's 300,000 words. Again, how much free time do these people have on their hands? Oh my god. My god, later. Okay, all that work for 1 review and 11 favorites. Can I sort by popular? Is there a way to, like, sort by popular? Betas. What the hell are betas? What's a beta? Are these just beta readers? Okay. Well, let's see if there is dumb Thomas stuff, since I still want to do Thomas stuff. It's got me in a nostalgic mood. Watched a lot of it growing up. Not a ton of it, but I watched a decent amount. I had a lot of those wooden Thomas train sets growing up. I gifted a lot of them to a cousin of mine. He enjoys them. Let's see. TV. Or, well, I guess books too, but mainly TV. How about... Oh my god, why does Supernaturals have so many? What the hell is Euphoria? I don't know what the hell Euphoria is. Let's see. There's Titanic, oh god. Let's see. But, Thomas. Where is it? Wait a minute, did I do the right category? Wait, oh no, I didn't. I didn't do the right category. TV. Where's Thomas? What? Shoot, was the show? No, the show was called Thomas and Friends. What? Is it under books? Cartoons. Well, it's not a cartoon, it was a live-action series. Well, for a while. Maybe it's in here? No, it's in here. Fair enough. Alright, let's see. $160,000 words on this one. Oh my god. Okay, that just seems like an OC thing. I want something. Where's something dumb? I just want something dumb. Let's see. Oh, I did the wrong section. I wanted crossovers. Alright, what do we have? What's the weirdest one I can think of? What's the strangest ones I can think of? Toho Project, oh boy. Far Eastern Rhapsody of a Northwestern Variety, 16,000 words. A megger is to be held between Gensokyo Railway and Northwestern Railway. The evil wizard from Germany plans to take control of the island? What the fuck? Markland Hansa stuff up. Who the hell are... Oh, the bad guy. What the fuck? It's just a gunfire. I'm gonna put a pin in that, but I don't want to read that right now. That's just looks weird to me, but fair enough. What's a weird one? Lady and the Tramp. Despicable Me. What's the Despicable Me one? Wait, I gotta at least take a look at one of these. Wait, what is this? Alright, I'm just choosing a random one. No, that one's tiny. No. Wait. Let me scan this. No, I don't know. That one doesn't look as fun. Let's see. $57,000 more. Okay, maybe not. The problem is, it's always hard to find weird ones. It's almost better when, like, people... I don't know. Five Nights at Freddy's... Oh, God. 600. Oh, only 600 words. Oh, well. Indiana Jones. 600 words. Dang it. VeggieTales? Team Fortress 2. Wait, Team Fortress 2. Against Barney the Dinosaur? wait. No, it's just, it's a shitpost. I want something someone actually tried to put effort into, and then it turned out terrible. I guess I'm expecting too much. Didn't I see this one before? Oh yeah, I remember this one. I think I was starting to read this one, but then it, like, again, was written competently. Yeah, dang it, that one was written competently. I couldn't make fun of the one with, Tom Hanks. Fanboy and no, I'm not clicking that one. Okay, what is it? 1,000 words. No. Wait. What? It's 1,000 words. What? Oh, it's a shitpost. No. Man. It's hard to choose. What I may do... I don't know. What I'm thinking is... I may wait till I get suggestions. What I'm thinking is I may want to call this one a wrap. I may want to wrap up this stream. And then... I may want to, like, collect other suggestions. See if there's anyone who recommends something. And when I have enough good recommendations for bad things, I will maybe try another one. Because I don't know if... Like, it's hard to find something that quickly. It's Pokemon, track 1. Furry Train Fantasy? Finger Licking Good? What the fuck is this? What? No, that was kind of a shit post too. Yeah, again, it's hard to find anything. 200 words. $18,000. Okay, yeah. Well, I think what I'll do is I'll end up maybe cutting this one off and trying to get recommendations, and once I have enough recommendations, I will go back in and find something stupid to do, so. Gives me some time to catch up on some other things. Unless there are any last-minute suggestions, then I may go ahead and cap it off, because again, I could keep trying to read this, and I wanted to make fun of this, but it's just not boring, but it's just, like, written well enough to where I can't make fun of it right now. Because it just looks normal. Well, alright. Like I said before, I think I'll cap it off here. So, yeah, a little shorter than I expected, but, you know, it's hit or miss with these streams. Depends on if we get going on a streak. So, yeah, if you have any suggestions for good stories, put them either in the comments or in the Discord. I have the Discord in the description. And by good stories, I mean bad ones. I want to read bad ones. So, yeah, aside from that, I hope you all have a great rest of your night.